That spring game. Yeah.
I got no. See, you
Tough way for it done.
As soon as I sit down, you poke the bear. There we go. No, I'm not over the spring game. But no, like at the end of the day, I think it was a good opportunity, for me and CJ to have an opportunity to, sit in as head coaches, and so I'm thankful for Coach Sweeney for that. But at the end of the day, man, we got to go out and compete. I know that there were some calls that could have been questionable, but we have to make sure that we do things that don't allow the game to be close. And there's going to be real opportunities as we go move forward during the season where, hey, refs going to make calls that we're not going to like. But at the end of the day, we got to go out and be dominant and don't put ourselves in those situations so we don't put it in the refs' hands.
Because we heard a lot of stuff in the spring just about Peter from players and coaches.
Yes.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything from spring, particular play, or anything about him as an athlete that kind of leads to that type of talk? Do you remember any specific?
I mean, the thing for me about Peter Woods is his humbleness. He's such a great kid. And then at the end of the day, he's just been blessed with God-given talent. And so God has given him a lot of abilities that other people just don't have. He's given him strength, speed, quickness that other people don't have. And so when you combine that with him as a person and who he is, it just makes it amazing. He's going to be a natural leader for us. Obviously, there's areas of his game that he needs to work on, but he's definitely going to be a really good football player for us and a great leader for us. So just truly excited about that. But at the end of the day, man, no matter how great we are, man, there's always room for improvement. And so, but is he going to be really good? Yes, he is. And so are the other guys. Big Burley, Stephon Green. They're just as talented, and so I've been truly blessed to have an opportunity to coach him.
What does he need to work on?
For Peter, man, just hey, when you got a guy that's 6'3", 310 pounds of muscle, hey, you can go and make plays whenever you feel like in high school. And if you watch his huddle tape, he just runs through people. But at the end of the day, we have some other dudes on the field that's around him now, and so it's kind of crazy. It's like, hey. You're trying to tell a guy, hey, you don't have to make every play in every play in the defense. And so when you're telling a guy that means you got a really good football player that can go make plays. And so, but for the most part, man, it's just understanding our defensive scheme and just learning our defense. But he comes out every day. He's humble, eager to learn, always looking to improve. And so that's what's going to make him great.
Is there any hesitation about moving him around?
I cross-train all of our players. To be able to play in and out, and so he'll be cross-trained just like everybody else. And so, like right now, man, all my players are going to be cross-trained to be able to play across the board, which makes it really exciting for me to be able to do that.
How invaluable is it when you have a freshman like Peter Woods that have the veterans that you have coming back like Tyler and Rook and Trey, just to be able to rotate those guys and for him to learn?
I think it's just great, man. When you have that kind of depth, man, you have an opportunity to win a lot of football games, to be dominant. I would say like Trey Williams, Peyton Page, and DeMonte Capehart, those guys have really made a huge step this offseason, just improving. I've just been challenging them on and off the field, and they stepped up to the challenge. And so those depth guys, are the guys that, I'm looking that I've seen this spring that are really tremendously improved, that I know I got to get really, really better. Now, Rook and Tyler, they've had a lot of playing experience, and they got to be the best version of themselves. They got to come out and be dominant. And you got to show up again this year and prove that, hey, you're one of the best 2D linemen, in the country. And so they got to show up every week, be consistent throughout the season, and we'll go from there.
Where has Capehart improved, and what have you seen him do to make that improvement?
DeMonte has just done a really good job of taking care of his body, just staying healthy, working on his flexibility. He's really been hitting hard in the weight room this offseason, taking some time in his off time, man, to just be the best version of himself. I just challenge him to do that, man. But mentally and physically, he's in one of the best spots he's ever been.
You talked about being the best version of yourself. You shared back in March that you broke up with little Debbie. You kind of shared your health journey.
Yeah.
How has that changed the way you coach or your coaching experience when you've gotten some life changes?
I think for me, it's just trying to be the living example for my players. I know that I'm not going to be the 19-year-old version of myself, but at the end of the day, I can be the best 43-year-old man that I can possibly be. I know the guys are looking at that, every day. So, I care about them. I spend a lot of time with them, and so in order to provide that leadership, man, I got to be the example for myself, and that comes with just being vulnerable. Being able to express, to everybody outside of being in the NFL and outside of being a coach at Clemson, and I'm human. And so I go through, human trials and tribulations just like everybody else. And so, like at the end of the day, man, you know, I've struggled with, you know, depression in the past. I've struggled with, you know, food addictions. And so, man, I had to overcome that. And so I think there's a lot of inspiration and motivation for people who have a listening ear to want to hear to help them get through some things.